Did Blake Lively secretly take over the production of Deadpool and Wolverine? And if that sounds insane, wait till you hear what Hugh Jackman allegedly had to say about it. Trust me, you do not want to miss a second of this.
Gordon Reynolds. Well, who's Gordon Reynolds? Oh, it must be like someone related to Ryan Reynolds, right? Gordon Reynolds was the name that Ryan used to attribute who played Nice Pool.
Sometimes all it takes is one seemingly innocent social media post to send an entire fandom into a frenzy. And in this case, that's exactly what happened when Blake Lively shared a behind-the-scenes picture from the Deadpool and Wolverine set. At first glance, the photo seemed harmless enough. Lively, dressed in Deadpool's signature red, cozied up to her husband Ryan Reynolds, who, as we all know, plays the iconic role of Deadpool. To casual fans, it was nothing more than a cute, affectionate moment between one of Hollywood's favorite power couples. But for die-hard Marvel fans and insiders, that photo sparked an avalanche of questions and theories. Almost immediately, speculation ran wild. Fans theorized that Lively might be taking on the role of Lady Deadpool, a female variant of the character from the Marvel comics. The idea made sense. After all, the Deadpool films are known for their meta humor and surprise cameos. What could be more fitting than Ryan Reynolds' real-life wife stepping into a Deadpool suit? And yet, something felt off. If this was just a fun little Easter egg, why was there so much secrecy around it? As fans speculated, insiders on set began leaking surprising details. Blake Lively's role in the film wasn't just a blink-and-you-miss-it cameo. In fact, according to some reports, she was more involved than anyone realized. What started as whispers in online forums quickly escalated into something much bigger. Rumors emerged that Lively wasn't just visiting the set, she was giving creative input. Crew members allegedly noticed that she was present during important production discussions. Sources claimed that her ideas actually influenced the direction of the film's ending. Now, this is where things start to get really interesting. If true, this would be an unprecedented level of involvement for someone who isn't an official cast or crew member. While it's not uncommon for actors' spouses to visit sets, rarely do they have actual input in shaping the film's narrative. So, how did Blake go from a possible cameo to allegedly rewriting parts of the script? And more importantly, why was no one stopping her? As more reports surfaced, the picture became even murkier. Some insiders claim that Blake wasn't just offering casual suggestions, she was actively involved in the decision-making process. Certain key scenes were rumored to have been altered or adjusted based on her influence. But the biggest bombshell? Allegedly, the director himself admitted that a suggestion from Blake changed the film's ending. We're talking about Deadpool and Wolverine, one of the most anticipated superhero films of the year. Marvel films have entire teams of writers, producers, and executives who meticulously craft every detail. So, how did Blake Lively, who wasn't even credited as part of the production team, manage to sway such a critical decision? Even more interestingly, if these claims are true, why didn't anyone from the studio intervene? Was it because of her relationship with Ryan Reynolds? Did she have leverage behind the scenes? Or did the creative team genuinely think her ideas were that good? This is where Hugh Jackman enters the picture. But before we continue with these deep dives, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next shocking update. For Hugh Jackman, Deadpool and Wolverine wasn't just another film, it was his highly anticipated return as Wolverine after officially retiring the role in Logan, 2017. Jackman has always been deeply protective of Wolverine's story arc, and fans were thrilled to see him reprise the role. But behind the scenes, sources claim Jackman was completely blindsided by how much influence Blake Lively had on the project. According to one insider, Hugh was absolutely stunned. He came in expecting to collaborate with Ryan and the director, but suddenly Blake was offering input on major scenes, sometimes even overriding what was originally planned. He wasn't expecting that at all. And that wasn't all. Jackman allegedly voiced his concerns behind the scenes, questioning how much power Blake actually had. But the moment his frustration became public knowledge, things really started to spiral. That's when the media began picking up the story, and suddenly, the headlines weren't just about Deadpool and Wolverine teaming up, they were about Blake Lively's surprising grip on the film's production. This raised even more questions. If Blake Lively was influencing production decisions, what did that mean for the film's creative vision? Was Hugh Jackman's Wolverine at risk of being overshadowed in his own comeback movie? Did Ryan Reynolds support Blake's involvement, or was he caught off guard too? At this point, what started as a casual on-set visit had turned into a full-blown Hollywood controversy. And the deeper people dug into this story, the more disturbing the patterns became. Here's where things get really crazy. If this was the first time Blake Lively had been accused of taking over a film's production, it might have been easier to dismiss as a misunderstanding. But it wasn't the first time. A nearly identical situation allegedly played out on the set of It Ends With Us, a film based on the best-selling Colleen Hoover novel. In that case, too, reports claim that Blake went beyond just starring in the film. She took creative control, altered major scenes, and ultimately pushed director Justin Baldoni out of his own project. And in a shocking twist, Baldoni is now suing for $400 million, claiming that Blake's interference completely derailed the film's production. So now, the big question is, did the same thing happen with Deadpool and Wolverine? If true, this means Blake Lively has a pattern of taking over projects, pushing out directors, and reshaping films to fit her vision. And if even Hugh Jackman, a Hollywood veteran, was reportedly frustrated by her involvement, then this might be one of the biggest Hollywood power struggles we've seen in years. For Hugh Jackman, Deadpool and Wolverine is not just another movie, it's his grand return to the role of Wolverine after his emotional farewell in Logan, 2017. Fans had accepted Logan as the perfect send-off for the beloved character, and Jackman himself had repeatedly stated that he was done playing Wolverine. So when it was announced that he would be returning to the role in Deadpool and Wolverine, the excitement was off the charts. Marvel fans saw this as a legendary comeback, one of the biggest superhero moments of the decade. And Jackman wasn't just showing up for a paycheck, he was deeply invested in doing justice to the character that he had played for over 2 decades. That's why when rumors began circulating that Blake Lively was influencing key production decisions, it reportedly caught Jackman completely off guard. After all, this wasn't just any movie, it was his long-awaited return. And now, instead of working solely with director Shawn Levy and longtime friend Ryan Reynolds, it seemed like Blake Lively was suddenly in the mix, making creative calls that no one had anticipated. And Jackman, he was not happy about it. According to behind-the-scenes reports, Jackman walked onto the set expecting a smooth collaboration with Reynolds and the film's creative team. But as filming progressed, he allegedly started noticing something unusual. Blake Lively was present on set far more often than expected, not just visiting Ryan, but sitting in on production meetings. She wasn't just watching, she was giving input, and not just casual offhand suggestions, but actual, impactful creative ideas. Major decisions about the script and character dynamics were suddenly shifting, and Blake's name was being mentioned as a major influence behind those changes. At first, Jackman reportedly assumed this was just a one-off situation, maybe a fun little moment where she offered Ryan some ideas, or maybe even a joke that the team entertained for a moment. But then, something major happened. According to industry insiders, a suggestion from Blake Lively actually changed how the movie ends, and for Jackman, that was the breaking point. The ending of Deadpool and Wolverine isn't just some random throwaway scene, it's the most critical part of the movie. It dictates how the story wraps up. It impacts future Marvel projects. It determines how Wolverine's character arc is reestablished after Logan. And now, sources claim that a key part of the ending was altered because of Blake Lively's input. If true, that means Blake's influence wasn't just minor, it was major enough to shape the final moments of the film. And Hugh Jackman, he was reportedly blindsided by it. One insider revealed, Hugh was absolutely stunned. He came in expecting to collaborate with Ryan and Shawn Levy, but suddenly Blake was offering input on major scenes, sometimes even overriding what was originally planned. He wasn't expecting that at all. Another source added, "You have to understand, Hugh sees Wolverine as his character. He's played him for over 20 years. So when he found out that Blake's input had actually changed the ending, he was caught completely off guard. He didn't understand how she had that much influence." This revelation reportedly caused tension behind the scenes, with Jackman questioning how much power Blake really had over the project. As more details leaked, it became clear that Blake Lively's involvement wasn't just casual. If reports are to be believed, she wasn't just giving minor feedback, she was actively shaping the film's creative direction. She had a say in character interactions. She influenced rewrites. She even changed how the movie ends. For someone who wasn't officially part of the crew, that's unheard of. And for Hugh Jackman, it was deeply frustrating. Jackman had returned to the role of Wolverine with the expectation of collaborating closely with the director and creative team, not with an actor's spouse, especially not one who had never been part of the Marvel Universe before. This led to behind-the-scenes disagreements, with some sources claiming that Jackman expressed concerns privately about how the film was being handled. At the same time, Marvel fans started picking up on the controversy, and the rumors began making their way to the public. Suddenly, the headlines weren't just about Wolverine and Deadpool's long-awaited team-up, they were about Blake Lively's unexpected grip on the film's production. Another key factor in this controversy is Ryan Reynolds himself. Some reports suggest that Reynolds backed his wife completely, allowing her to have a strong say in the project. If true, that would explain why the creative team was willing to listen to her ideas. Because Ryan, as both the film's lead actor and a producer, had the power to make that happen. But another theory suggests that Ryan was caught off guard by just how much influence Blake had gained. A source claims, Ryan has always valued Blake's opinions, but even he was surprised by how much weight they carried on set. Things started as fun brainstorming sessions, but eventually it turned into her actually making serious decisions. If that's true, then even Ryan didn't anticipate Blake's creative involvement reaching this level. And for Jackman, that meant he wasn't just working with his friend Ryan anymore, he was now dealing with an unexpected new voice in the room, one that was shaping the future of his character in ways he never saw coming. With all this drama swirling behind the scenes, one big question remains. Did this experience sour Hugh Jackman's enthusiasm for returning as Wolverine? While Jackman hasn't publicly commented on the controversy, some insiders speculate that this may have been his final outing as the character, not because of the physical demands of playing Wolverine, but because of the unexpected creative chaos behind the scenes. A Marvel insider reportedly said, "Hugh loves playing Wolverine, but he also takes the character very seriously. If he felt like things got out of hand during this production, I wouldn't be surprised if this is his last time suiting up." If that's the case, then Blake Lively's influence may have played a role in shaping not just this film, but the entire future of Wolverine in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And that's huge. Now that this story is gaining traction, we have to ask, will Hugh Jackman address these rumors? Will Marvel Studios step in and clear the air? And most importantly, how will fans react when they see the final product? Because if the ending really was changed based on Blake's input, then we're all about to witness the impact of her behind-the-scenes influence firsthand. And that might be the biggest twist of all. What do you think? Did Blake Lively really take over production? Let's discuss in the comments.